Let's segue back to women's college basketball. We're joined now by Brandon Lack, who's been a part of our show throughout the tournament, men and women's side. So thank you for coming back for another episode, Brandon.
Thanks, guys.
But over in Knoxville, we have news coming out of Tennessee firing women's head coach Kelly Harper after 5 seasons at the helm, a 108-52 record, pretty respectable record, but no SEC titles, no NCAA titles. Also, very multi-layered hiring and firing. Kelly Harper was a point guard for Tennessee from 95 to 98, 3 titles as a player, including the 1997 Final Four MVP. So I want to start with you, Brandon, since you are a Tennessee fan. Your thoughts, first of all, about the firing of Kelly Harper, and second, who should Tennessee go after?
Well, like you said, Coach Harper did have a good record overall, but there's just such a high standard at the University of Tennessee women's basketball specifically that you go 5 years without a SEC championship or even past. Goodness, I think maybe just the second round of the tournament. I'm not sure how far the farthest they got, but it's been very disappointing into the season wise for them. She's a Pat Summit disciple, I guess. She played for Pat Summit and is a Tennessee alumni. She's through and through. She bleeds orange. She played for Holly Warwick, who also coached her. She took over for Holly when it was time for her to change the scenery from her. We go from Pat Summit to Holly Warwick to Kelly, and it's hard to fill the shoes of Pat Summit. I mean,
Absolutely.
no one can. But I think we continue the pattern of Tennessee former players, and we go after Carol Lawson, who's the head coach at Duke right now.
Interesting.
Is a player, a great player, great Tennessee player, great WNBA player, all-star player. She has NBA experience, which is unique. She was an assistant coach with the Celtics, I believe, and was a shooting coach that works very closely with Marcus Smart. I read earlier today, and he's one of the greatest defensive guards in the entire league. And she helped him kind of hone his skills. So that's exactly what Tennessee needs. They got to toughen up defensively, and I think if you want to continue the pattern of former players, then why not go after her? It makes perfect sense. If Tennessee wants to kind of go outside of the program, it's Coach Gottlieb from USC. I think she would be a great fit too. You might have to back the Brinks truck up for her, but pay a little bit more than what they're willing. But she is also a great coach, great defensive coach with NBA experience too. I think she was with the wasn't actually too long ago with the Cavaliers. That's who it was. So I mean, those are two people that I think they should pursue heavily. Outside of that, you've got Vanderbilt's head coach would not be a terrible choice.
You watch your mouth.
I know,
no.
right?
That's a no.
They could, go after in-state coach. Yeah. I'm not. I can't recall her name though.
I told you I had your back. I'll forget a name. Shay Ralph. There you go.
There you go. Yeah,
Took me a minute.
That wouldn't be a bad choice either.
And she's from a winning program. Coming from UConn. I mean, she knows.
Mm-hmm.
winning programs. So
yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. She came from UConn.
yep.
If you can't have, if you don't, it ends up where you can't get someone from Tennessee, why not go after someone from a program like UConn for sure that has ties to that. So, my number one choice would be Carol Lawson, for sure. I think that makes perfect sense. I'm sure she would love to come back to Knoxville and be the head coach. So fingers crossed it's Carol Lawson for me.
Do you think she can emerge from the shadow of Pat Summitt?
No, I mean that's tough. I think she could. I think people have a high opinion on her because that she played for Tennessee and was a great player and learned from Coach Summitt. I'm not sure if that's like too much pressure because it's been a lot of pressure for Holly and Kelly. But I think someone like Carol Lawson could potentially break out of that and make her own mark.
And she's established herself as well at a program like Duke, so that could help. That could help some.
And they started out rough with her. I think her first year was like 2019. They didn't have a great season. Then the next season, COVID hit. But the last two seasons, they've done well. Especially this past season, they made the Sweet 16. So I mean, she has continuously improved. She's gotten better and better and better and better in her short time at Duke, and so I think she's on a path that is going to make her an elite coach one day. And why not do it at Tennessee? I just think it makes perfect sense for her to come back to Knoxville. She might not want to, but because of the whole Pat Summitt thing, but
yeah,
I think it just makes too much sense.
And I think it makes sense to be hearing you kind of describe it. She's a coach that has established herself as a candidate regardless of her history at Tennessee. And that's an enormous bonus. If that history at Tennessee becomes a bonus, to me, that probably gives her a better shot than either of the previous two coaches there. And I think if you've got a tie to Pat Summitt and you get the call to come back to Tennessee, I don't see anybody saying no. I'd be shocked if they want her. I think she comes back. I'd be genuinely stunned if they call and say, "Hey, want to come back?" I assume she does. I would be genuinely surprised.
Yeah, I would be. I would be so happy. I mean, and the entire Tennessee fan base would be. They just remember. I remember watching her on TV when I was young, watching her play for Pat, and I mean, in on those really really good teams they had, and man, I just think it would be just so nostalgic. It would be great. It'd be great.
Tennessee still remains one of the premier coaching jobs in women's basketball, and if Tennessee is good, it makes women's college basketball better. So
absolutely.
So we're hoping that comes about. They find the right person, and Tennessee starts trending in an even better direction. Kelly Harper did a great job, but no Tennessee fans. There's a high standard set by Coach Summitt. And Brandon, I remember the days in the early '80s. You remember Tennessee and Louisiana Tech playing for national titles.
Absolutely.
So, and I think there was a point guard for Louisiana Tech named Kim Mulkey
during
that time.
Exactly. Yeah. I wonder if they. I haven't looked it up or anything, but I know that Tennessee's first national championship was in '87. I know that. Was Mulkey playing then, or she?
No, Tech. It was before that. Tech won in '82.
Yeah. 82. I see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They. They probably had some clashes though, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Because Tennessee was
Definitely.
good before then. They just hadn't won a national championship.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right.
yet.
Right. Well, we will keep tabs on that, and as that search continues.